Hey, so it's midnight on Wednesday, May 16th, so it's technically New Comic Book Day. And I wanted to get a jump start on a video. Gonna do some comic book reviews and, spoilers and all that for the stuff that came out last week on, I guess, May 9th. And also of what we picked up on New Comic Book Day on the 5th. It's a lot of stuff, so I think I'm going to start, doing two videos now. Have one for my pickups and one for reviews, because I feel like the reviews are so long they kind of bog down the other stuff. So we'll get started real quick. Marvel, Venom, #1. That was super cool. I'm gonna continue reading that. It was better than I thought it would be. I like Donny Cates a lot, and I knew he'd pull through. Highly recommend that, and I'm gonna also try to breeze through a bunch of these because there's a lot of stuff. Hunt for Wolverine, Adamantium, A and B covers. This is really cool too. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would as well. Just had New Avengers kind of feel. The Brian Michael Bendis run. I've been enjoying the Hunt for Wolverine issues, so check them out. Despicable Deadpool, issue 300, nice big thick one. In this, Deadpool, he erases his memory, and it's Duggan's last run riding it, and it was a really good send-off and farewell. The best part is when Duggan writes himself into the comic and kills himself. Deadpool kills Duggan. That was pretty awesome. I would have done the exact same thing if I was writing Deadpool. And Captain America, variant cover for issue 701. And I didn't like the issues leading up to 700. I thought they were really terrible. But this one, I said I wasn't going to read it, but I did, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. Had a pretty cool setup with, and it takes place well in the future. And it's a relative of Rogers trying to get a cure for his son who's sick. And it was a pretty interesting story. I'm looking forward to the next one. I think I'm actually probably going to buy it. They wrote me back in. Marvel XLs. First appearance of Peggy Carter, Captain America. And Lil Wolvie. Lil Wolvie's always scared, hiding and running. It's pretty funny. It's been okay. I thought it would be better. Not this issue in particular, but the whole entire Exiles run. It's okay. I'm going to continue to read it though, see where it's going to go. And New Mutants, Dead Souls, issue 3. I've been enjoying that a lot. I like Matthew Rosenberg, and it's cool having these mutants with horror themes kind of into it. But yeah, I recommend checking out New Mutants if you haven't gotten a chance to. Justice League No Justice. Starting the DC stuff. It was okay. I thought it was weird how they brought back Task Force 11 when they just used them recently in one of the Damage issues. But I guess they were like, no one really reads these New Age of Heroes stuff, so let's just use it again. It's enjoyable. It's fun. It's a Snyder thing. I know it's co-written by more guys than that. Tinian the Fourth and Williamson, Manapul, Snyder. But to me, it just felt like pretty much all Snyder. Really, I don't know. It was just kind of not so convoluted as the preview issue, the issue 0. I'm looking forward to where it's going to go. It's going to be fun and see stuff that we've never seen before, so shouldn't really be complaining too much, Batman, White Knight, last issue. Wrapped everything up nicely. If you haven't got a chance to read it, check it out. I won't spoil it because I think it's worth the ride. It's good. Batman Detective Comics. A and B covers. I think Variant's cool. This run is almost done. Tinian in the fourth. Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I know a lot of people haven't been enjoying this recent part of the story arc, but I think it's gonna be wrapping up everything nicely, and I think it's been going pretty good. I think it should be wrapping up soon. I want to say the next issue could be the one after that, though. But yeah, it's good. Check it out. Flash War Prelude. I just got the variant cover in the mail because it was sold out in the store, so I'm stoked to have this because I love Reverse Flash. I think it's fucking awesome. But yeah, in this issue, you have the Reverse Flashes, both of them. Zoom, Hunter Zolomon. Yeah, they team up together and for a little bit at least, and then things take a wild turn. But yeah, apparently here it says all his pasts remembered, and I think it goes over that more in the last issue, which I didn't read because I was waiting for the prelude to start. So I might pick that up and get a little more background. But apparently, yeah, there's a lot of speculation on what's going to happen with the Flash War, what's going to cause us fighting. Apparently Wally remembers everything, original Wally West, and that includes him and, I'm kind of new to the Flash Mythos. I want to say like Iris is, I feel like that's the other dude's girl. But I don't know, Wally had kids previously, and now they're like gone, so and if he remembered everything, he remembers all that stuff. So apparently Barry Allen was keeping that from him, or at least sheltering him from it, so it's probably not going to go too well when they meet up and talk and chat it out. So I don't know, but I've been looking forward to Flash War. It's a lot of drama. But yeah, it's cool. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps. I've been really digging the Dark Star Rising storyline. These variants are super cool. It's pretty much like Dark Stars are just, kind of believe in the Punisher or Red Hood mentality of just, killing criminals or murderers actually in particular. That's good. Wonder Woman. It's the first story arc of The Dark Gods, Part 1. I'm new to the Wonder Woman mythos also. It's my first time reading a Wonder Woman issue, although I've kept up with some YouTube videos. And so I have some backgrounds, knowledge going into it, but even then I still feel like I wasn't getting the whole thing, and I felt like a little lost as well, which is a shame because I felt like this would have been a good jumping on point. I think they were kind of advertising it as a good jumping on point, but yeah, there's a lot of mythos. I think I already knew who Jason, her brother, was because I was keeping track of that baby apocalypse story of him getting his powers back and defeating Zeus and all that stuff, and Jason going from being like a kind of like a bad guy to trying to figure things out for himself and becoming a good guy at the end. And here I think he has the power of all the gods. So it should be interesting going forward. And last for DC, we got Sideways. This has been continued to be really fun and entertaining. Yeah, it's a good time all around. The bad guy gets pretty messed up at the end, and that was fun to watch. Dark Horse, Burger Books, Hungry Ghosts. It's the last issue. And it wraps everything up from the story, the actual story part of it from the first issue. First issue was probably the best one. It was awesome. Had a great introduction, and it really wanted me to study the mythos of these scary stories and the process of them, the ritual of it. First issue was the best. Had the best stories. The second one, I had like one or two stories. I think I had 2 or 3 stories in it, but I feel like one of them was good. And that's kind of been like the trend for the following issues. And then issue 4 here closes it out. And it wraps up the intro of the story. And from issue 1, the beginning, it finally loops around. Because it's all just a bunch of short stories with like based on a bigger premise. So kind of like almost like a Tales from the Crypt kind of thing. But overall, I'd say check it out because it has some interesting stories. Most of the time you'd be like, what? Oh, it's weird. But art is really cool for the most part, and you get a lot of variety. So next is Image. Analogue is also from Duggan, who just finished his Deadpool run. This cover is cool. I've been loving this story. I think it's really, really cool. It's just transporting information, and it's based in the future where there's no more internet, and I don't think there's any more privacy and stuff. And in this issue, the government kind of gets their hands on the main character, and they said, continue what you're doing, even though it's illegal, I think. But they have a whole entire giant room full of just photocopiers, and they want a share of the information, just to know what's going on out there. So, Big Brother watching. And this time it was actually a woman, I think called her Aunt Samantha instead of Uncle Sam. I think, I don't recall, but it's something like that. But yeah, Analogues is really good. I recommend checking that out. Oblivion Song, issue 3. It's been okay. From Kirkman, the dude who wrote Walking Dead and Outcast. Yeah, but it's been okay. I expect to pick up. It's just a lot of world building, a lot of drama, and there's a good amount of characters to keep track of. It's not overwhelming though. It's good pacing. A lot of people really love the art. I think I like more of the backgrounds and the environments, not so much the way the characters look. But it's worth checking out if you want to delve into a whole new world and learn some new characters and have another soap opera to read. But yeah, I'll probably keep reading for a couple issues. Next is Port of Earth. I really, really enjoy the storyline so far. It's totally trippy. It's a sci-fi, takes place in the future, but in nearby future, where aliens come down and they give us this technology for like free energy, but they want to use our planet as a base, almost like a gas station in the whole entire universe in like this section, but they're not allowed to travel outside of the port, and but like apparently some do, and they just like massacre humans. And it's, all the red tape and regulations come through. He's like, what do we do? They made like a regulation crew. They're like, oh yeah, we're taking care of it. We got to think of what's best for the aliens and for the humans, and things like that. So it's really interesting. Plus, it follows these 2 characters who are part of this patrol or cops to make sure the aliens stay on base. And if they go off, they got to hunt them down and track them down and take them down, peacefully, hopefully. But yeah, it's cool. I really dig Port of Earth, and I heard that might make a TV show or a movie. I think that'd be cool. Hopefully it's not just like on like sci-fi or something, but although sci-fi has been picking up their game a lot, so I'm not going to knock them fully. Next is Medieval Spawn and Witchblade crossover. There's a C cover, it's black and white, but I didn't really want to pick it up. I was cool with just having these 2. It's okay. Like, honestly, like, most people that have read this didn't like it, and I wasn't really a fan either. I mean, Spawn looks cool in it, but it's not even really, like, the Spawn we're familiar with. It's, like, some guy that was a king, and he got killed in battle or something, and then he came back out of nowhere, and it was like something that was like prophesied. And I don't think Witchblade is even in this. Like, I'm not too familiar with the Spawn mythos. I'm not too familiar with like the Witchblade mythos. But I was like, I definitely want to check it out because I hear it's, you know, apparently somewhat of a big deal. But I think it's more of just like a merchandising thing. But I'm gonna keep reading it for a bit. But yeah, check out this. Of course, you got your statue. But it's a pretty fucking sick statue. I'm trying to see that sword. Here you go. But yeah, really cool detail on this shit. And the art's good too. I mean, they use like a lot of like computer graphics and stuff in it, and mixed media art. But it's nice to look at. The story itself it's not very good. I don't know. But yeah, I'm in it because I wanna finish this crossover event and have that, and I'll decide if I want to keep it in the end or sell it. But so far, I mean, the majority, like 98% of the stuff I buy, I keep. So let's see. From Aftershock, Rough Riders, Ride or Die. This finishes up the 4-part story arc, just 4 issues, real short. And it was fun. You know, I still have to read all the other Rough Riders stuff. I think if I would have started with the other older stuff first, I would have had, you know, more of a liking to the characters. And but I thought everyone's introduced well. You know, totally follow along, easy to read. You know, bad guys lose, good guys win. But it's a fun ride too. Along the way, you see some cool stuff. From Boom, Robocop, Citizen's Arrest, issue 2. Issue 1 was really cool. Issue 2 is still really cool. And this, he gets his code overwritten, because before he was like paralyzed, he couldn't really do anything. But now it's on. he's going after the bad guy. He's going to go after the bad guy, who's kind of like an evil Steve Jobs kind of character. But yeah, it's worth checking out. I really love Robocop, and all the biting social commentary is a lot of fun in that, with like kind of like the mixture of the Today Show and Fox News and things like that. So yeah, it's a fun read. From Vault Comics, Wasted Space, issue 1. I know this came out a little while ago, but I finally got my hands on it, and I wanted to pick it up because it's the same artist as Cold War, and I don't even know the dude's name. I don't know, like, I'm not sure if it's Moretti, Sherman, Wardy, or Campbell, but I'm sure it's one of these two. Either Moretti or Sherman. I'm assuming Sherman. Usually the writer's first, and then the artist. But you know, I can check inside, do the guide some justice. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Yeah, art by Hayden Sherman. Yeah, it's cool. I'm definitely gonna keep picking it up. I think it started off with a guy that was kind of like a one of those like religious preacher guys, almost like a televangelist kind of thing. And I feel like he started a movement or something that someone took over, or they said that he wasn't the chosen one or something like that. And he said you know, God was talking to him, but it was like a robot. And we're still not sure if these robots were like gods or actual robots, or what's going on, or if it was actually in his head. But I think it was like a real kind of entity. And then there was like some kind of general, or like, I think it's this like new priest, president, leader kind of character. And his daughter meets up with the main protagonist, and they want to, I guess, you know, start a revolution or take over. And at the end, there are some kind of like weird creatures, kind of like Minority Report. If you ever saw Minority Report, with like the twins, and you know, they're like laying in the water, looking up at like all this, like at the sky, and they see like visions and stuff. It was kind of like that, where these alien creatures were like all laying down, looking up at all these television screens, and they're like, I think it's like murder, 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 kill, or something like that. And it was a warning towards like their leader, and I guess they're like a hive mind or something. And they're like, you know, we have to stop this. We have to kill the Alpha and Omega. They're finally meeting together. So I know it's a lot of world building. You know, more characters to learn, more drama to learn, but it's a fun ride. I enjoyed it. I'm going to continue with Wasted Space. Next is Barrier, issue 1 and 2. I'm sure all of you know by now, Barrier, it's a little bit longer than your average comic book, and art's really cool. You know, you got to read it from top to bottom. The first issue was free on Free Comic Book Day, and here's the actual edition. So it's quite large. But the actual whole issue is inside the Free Comic Book Day. The only thing extra you get is, well, pretty much the size and the nice cardboard cover instead of the paper one. And I think, you know, like a note at the end, like from the writer. And this comic came out a while ago, like from Brian K. Vaughan, which I think he's known for Saga, right? I just started reading Saga and Paper Girls. Yeah, this has been out online for a while. I want to say for like 2 or 3 years now. You can still read it online for free, but you know, they wanted to give it the physical treatment, and I thought it looked cool, and I wanted to pick it up. And I read it for the first time, my physical copy and the Free Comic Book Day copy side by side to see if there's any differences. The only notable differences, besides the size, was the coloring a little bit, and once again, not once again, but it could be, you know, a printing factor where, you know, so many issues run through, and maybe the colors on a further part of the run might be lighter in ink, or, you know, they could have legitimately had slightly different colors. For me, I liked both. It was cool seeing both side by side because my Free Comic Book Day had a little bit darker colors, and this one was a little bit brighter. I think I enjoyed the original more, like skin tone looked actual, kind of more skin tone, and this one looked more pink, for like at least you know, the white people. There's a lot of Hispanics. You know, there's a lot of Spanish in here. Like, I'm Hispanic. I don't know Spanish, but yeah, there's like a good bit, like you would have to use Google Translate if you actually really want to follow along. It's like pages and pages and pages of Spanish, which is a surprise. I want to say, I'm trying to remember what other comics I read that I had to use Google Translate on. Oh, I had to use for Rasputin. There's some German in there, a good bit of German. It wasn't like a lot, but like at least a couple frames, or at least a page of German. So yeah, I used, you know, Google Translate for that. And there was something else. I want to say it was like Finnish or Swedish or something. I can't remember. I want to say Black Monday Murders, but I don't think it was that. I think it's Black Magic. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not, you know, afraid of using Google Translate, but it was the fact that there was so much Spanish. I was like, I don't have time for this, especially with how much I read all the time, and I work 7 days a week, and I'm recording here at fucking midnight. You know, and I'm not gonna waste like an hour trying to translate this shit. But I mean, at the end, the letter at the end says, you know, you don't have to translate. It's, you know, you can follow along and get the gist of it, which for the most part is true. I didn't understand the character's motivations at first until like I read some reviews. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that makes a little more sense. But yeah, for the most part, you can follow along. Yeah, so besides colors, like the sky and the Free Comic Book Day version was more like aqua. The real version was more light blue. But like other parts, it just really popped and more vibrance with the new Comic Book Day, and it was more dull in this. So yeah, I mean, it was. I enjoyed reading both at the same time. And like a lot of times, I found myself looking at the Free Comic Book Day version, going like, "Wow, like that just really pops." But other parts I'm like, wow, it looks really bad. Like their skin just looks like pink. And then I'm like, this looks really good. So both has its pros and cons. And yeah, I talked about Barrier for way too long, but I'm definitely going to buy them all. And I think they're cool. It's a good story. Really cool twist at the end of issue 1. This one for Free Comic Book Day, Relay, was really cool. It's Donny Cates, Zach Thompson, Andy Clark. So the story is by all 3 of them, and it's written by Zach. Zach, I can't remember the stuff he's done, but I know I've read like a good bit of his stuff, and for the most part, I thought he's a pretty good writer. On Twitter, he seems like a good guy. I know like there's something that was in theaters that he disliked that I liked, and I forgot what he said. He said something like, it's like, oh, like, doesn't make you want to care for the characters, and whatever it was, I forgot what it was, but he just didn't understand what it was, I think, really. And I wish, because I sound like an asshole for saying that, and I have like no basis or memory of what it was. I just know it was like he didn't get the full picture of what he was talking about, and I don't know, sorry, but this is good. Donny Cates is always awesome. So far, I like him. But yeah, Relay was a crazy ass sci-fi. And it's issue 0. It's a good primer. Issue 1 hasn't even started yet. But yeah, it was a fucking trip. It's too complicated to explain. I want to say it's almost like a mixture of like 2021 from Kubrick and I'm not even sure what else. But yeah, I recommend checking it out. It's different and weird, and I'm excited to see more of it. Also, free comic book day, Shadow Roads from Cullen Bunn. I really like Cullen Bunn's Dark Arc. It's a lot of fun. And this was okay. And apparently he's written some other stuff that's very similar to this, which is previewed in the back, or at least advertised. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd probably pick up the first issue or 2. It seems okay. It's just, I think, I don't know, it's just more drama. It's it's going to be more monsters. He always has monsters and stuff, but it just takes place in the West. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any Western stuff. I might give it a shot. And then if I like it a lot, maybe I'll check out his previous Western, story. So, next is Shattered Grid, Power Rangers. I used to love Power Rangers when I was a kid. I was like, I think in 4th grade or 3rd or 4th grade. Loved Power Rangers. And it was a fun trip down nostalgia road. The writing itself was okay, not so good. The art was okay, but it was more fun just seeing, I think, like these characters and this mythos kind of broadened. Like you see Rita again. You see like the evil Green Ranger from the alternate dimension kill her and like stab her and stuff, and it's, I don't know, I think it's gonna be cool. I mean, apparently this is what somewhere they already started it. I guess they're a couple issues in, and I kind of actually want to track them all down and read them, just to see what happens. But yeah, Zordon goes to these like Power Ranger gods. He teleports, and like I guess he did it using like the rest of his power, or use it as a favor to almost talk to like the Living Tribunal, kind of. I think is kind of like what I would relate it to in Marvel comics, and so yeah, like there was like these 3 entities. It looked like a forever morphine. Red Ranger, Yellow Ranger, and Blue Ranger. It was like 3 of them separate, but their masks and uniforms kept like constantly changing every single frame, like half and half. And so that was really cool. Like, it has some pretty cool art in there. But yeah, they were like, oh hell no, we're not going to help you. Deal with it, and it's not going to affect the grid. But of course, the comic's called Shattered Grid, so it's going to affect the grid. um, but yeah, so they're like, yeah, at the end they're like, oh, we did the right thing. Nothing's gonna happen to us, you know. And that's just one dimension, you know. And apparently, you know, it talks about, it shows Tommy's origin, you know, how we know it, or if you know, if you don't, he started off as like kind of like a bad guy, or he was under a spell from Rita with his like sword, and like the Power Rangers beat him, like break his sword, and then he like becomes a good guy. I think he like dies and like becomes back as the White Ranger. Um, so like, you know, he's one of their best allies, best teammates, you know. And then it goes to like, you know, other dimensions. They're like, yeah, like that didn't always happen, you know. And a lot of them, he was always a good guy. But then like it goes to like this one where, you know, he actually defeated the Power Rangers. He like took over everything, and then, you know, he was still under, you know, Rita's sidekick as like her general, kind of, you know, her next go-to guy. And then he's like, you know, he talks about breaking away from your parents and moving on, and he's stabbed her, and he's like, you know, took it over. He made generals. The generals look like Red Rangers, like cool, and like his military, I think, are all like Black Rangers. And it's like the outfit designs are fucking tough. Like the outfits look cool. But yeah, so I actually really want to start reading that, but you know, the issues are like damn near hard to find, and I mean, maybe there's like second and third pressings of shit out, but yeah, as far as I know, like all the stuff I looked up on eBay, they were going for like 20, 30, $50 each. I'm like, I'm not going to spend that on Power Rangers. But yeah, uh, Overwatch and Black Hammer. The Overwatch story, I thought it was stupid. I didn't like it very much. The Black Hammer story was cool. And it's a preview of what's going to happen with the new series coming out called the Quantum League. I think it's called Quantum League. But yeah, worth checking out just for that Black Hammer feature. And I'm definitely going to pick up that new Black Hammer solo story. It's like, what, the third or fourth one now? Yeah, let me see. I hate seeing like wrong information, and I catch myself whenever I like rewatch a video once or twice. I'm like, fuck, I said the wrong thing. God damn it. Yeah, Quantum League. I was right, right? I hope I said that. But yeah, it's Black Hammer's daughter. She, you know, has the hammer. You know, it's a family heirloom, but they're like, where'd you get that? Like, everyone disappeared. So, looking forward to that. This one was probably the highlight of it all. I mean, besides, I think my favorite was probably Relay and Barrier. And, yeah. And then Mall. The Mall. When I first saw this, like, previewed or featured, advertised for Free Comic Book Day, I was like, I want to get that. Like, it looks cool. Like, I was born in '84, you know, so I was like, kind of grew up with some of this stuff. But yeah, I was like, that looks awesome. And when I got there at Free Comic Book Day, kind of like opened up and like looked through it, and I was like, oh, this looks like a fucking like teen drama, and it is. I was like, man, this looks like a Riverdale kind of thing, and it is, but it was actually good writing. It was a lot of fun and enjoyable. I almost felt like a John Hughes film, but yeah, it's like this like mobster guy. Apparently, he had a couple kids with like multiple women, and you know he died. He got killed, but he left like these stores to like his children, and so everyone's kind of like, a good bit of people are connected in the mob, and working in their storefronts in the mall. And this one kid, he likes this girl, and of course like the head cheerleader, and there's like these arcade machines out, and you know her boyfriend, this like jock guy, football player guy, whatever, is like playing an arcade game, and you know he makes a bet that you know that he can beat him, and all this other drama and bullshit goes on, but yeah, it was a fun read, and I'm probably gonna actually buy the first issue when it comes out, because this is issue 0, primer issue. But yeah, it's fun. Shadow Man. I thought it was just going to be issue 1, but it was a preview of issue 1. It was like the first couple pages. It was also a preview of Harbinger War Prelude. And then at the end, it's just kind of like a sneak peek of a bunch of other Valiant comic stuff. So, I mean, if you don't know anything about Valiant, it would be a good pickup. If you already know what's coming around, it's not even worth picking up. Adventure Time. I thought it was mostly really dumb and bad. Big surprise, right? A kid's book that's bad. I don't know. It's just the main character and her friend. They're going to a party, for a prince, and they made a bunch of punch, and they're traveling there, and it's like their journey there. And her friend is trying to write his like stories, and each kind of obstacle they come across in real life, he has a parallel of a similar story that he wrote in his story, and he reads it, and then they make like maybe learn a lesson, but they don't really learn a lesson, and like that's it. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like the writing. I would say A+ for imagination. For making some weird stuff and weird characters, and everyone for the most part's likable. It's a decent kids book, except at the end, I think he talked about like dating or something. And I was like, I'm more old-fashioned. I don't think little kids should be dating. I don't think that's cute. But yeah, whatever. I don't know. Bob's Burgers. This was like a bunch of short stories as well. Three or four stories in there. Yeah, if you like Bob's Burgers, it's kind of a fun read. There's a lot of puns and things. It's enjoyable. It's not the worst thing ever. But yeah, it's okay. So yeah, that's all the free comic book stuff. And then of course at Free Comic Book Day, they were also giving away the Image Firsts. When I picked up a couple of those, and so I finally got to read Saga first issue. I thought the art was really good. And I think I'm gonna enjoy reading Saga. Everyone's like their favorite thing ever. So my expectations were high, and I thought it was okay. I like all the weirdness and strangeness and all the weird creatures and these different personalities. These characters. It seems like there's a lot of world building, a lot of mythos. A lot of things you're gonna have to understand, but I'm up for it. It seems like it's gonna pay off in the end. Apparently, everyone loves it. I thought it was pretty good. I probably would have liked it more, but also would have been more confused if I didn't know anything about Saga. I already saw some reviews. Saw some. I don't know. So when I was reading this, like I already knew what was going to happen. So that I kind of ruined it for myself. I like to be surprised and let my imagination flow and think of what ifs and what's happening here instead of already having everything planned out and just kind of watching it unfold as you turn the page. Like I already know what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to getting past at least the first volume of issues because I don't really know much past there, and I'm trying to stay away from it. Yeah, I'm probably going to pick up the first volume of, not the first volume, but the first like hardcover book, which is the first 3 volumes, I believe. So I'm probably going to pick that up sometime soon. Paper Girls is also from Brian K. Vaughan. And I actually really enjoyed this. I know it's like aimed towards girls, but it was funny. Yeah, it's like these paper girls. They end up in some other dimension at the end and like finding some kind of weird creatures. It might be the future. I think they're in the future, like a post-apocalyptic future. I'm not sure. But that's kind of where it ends. But the writing was really funny, and all these characters are really likable and distinct in their own way. And I looked up how much like what the hardcover book would be. I was probably thinking of buying it, and it's like this big pink book, and I was like, God damn it, like I should not want this. I don't know, that's not true. Like you shouldn't think that nowadays, but I don't know, like if this first issue was so good, like I might even pick up like the first volume, if not that hardcover book, because it seems like a funny, enjoyable trip. This one is awesome. Ed Brubaker, Fatale. This one, I'm definitely picking up the first hardcover volume, and probably the second, like straight off the bat. Like, they got me. Like, this is awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of that. Also, if you're not familiar with Ed Brubaker, he also does Kill or Be Killed, and a lot of other detective stuff. Yeah, really cool. Outcast from, what's his name? Kirkman. Walking Dead guy, and Oblivion song. Before Oblivion song, I guess he did Outcast. And it was my first time experiencing that, and I enjoyed Outcast a lot. I thought it was cool. And I'll probably pick up those hardcover editions. There's 2 of them out now. Yeah, this one deals with like possession, spirits, like exorcisms and things like that. And I think I would enjoy this more than Oblivion song. So, yeah, and like I never really liked Walking Dead. Really, I didn't really care for the zombie thing. Like, I live here in Pittsburgh, and that's like what we're known for is zombies. So I feel like there's like flooded with zombie shit all the fucking time. It's like zombie overload. So like, it's lost its fun. I mean, a lot of people don't get tired of zombie shit, but like, I did. I got burned out on it real quick. I mean, I shouldn't say real quick. It took like a good 7-8 years to get burned out on it. But when you see it like all the fucking time, you're just like, all right, enough zombie shit. But yeah, Outcast seems cool. I like demon shit. I like magic shit. So yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. Deadly Class from Remender, right? Yeah, Remender. It was okay. I thought it'd be better. Would I'd probably pick up the first like trade, not the hardcover edition of the first 3 volumes. I'd probably pick up volume 1 and see if I like it and go from there. But yeah, Remender is a good writer. He gave depth into the characters and a lot of good background, and made you want to care for the characters. He's a great writer, and he's also doing what's that new one, Death or Glory, which is really cool. But yeah, a lot of people love Deadly Class, but yeah, I'll read more before I judge it. But yeah, I enjoy that a good bit. I wouldn't say it's terrible at all. I know I feel like I'm dissing it, but it's good, and I'd like to read more. Next one is Curse Words, Charles Soule, Ryan Brown. It's pretty goofy, pretty silly. It's like a wizard guy who was supposed to destroy the world and didn't, and ended up deciding that he wants to protect it. Yeah, it's okay. I probably read a couple more issues, or maybe that first volume before I decide to delve more into it. But apparently, people were talking up that it's really good now. So I don't know. This one too, The Wicked and the Divine. I enjoyed a good bit. I liked it more than I thought I would. I don't know, because I was pretty open minded when it came to that. Like, I thought the covers always looked fucking cool. I always wanted to pick it up. But I was like, man, I gotta start back at issue 1. They're so far along into it. I feel like this one too is like focused, like Image. Like, if you ever go on their like website and look at like the submissions section, they say, what's your demographic? Like, who is this written for? Like, if you don't have one, you're doing it wrong. Like, you need to have a specific aim of what who and what like your comic is made for. And I feel like same thing with like Paper Girls. I feel like it's probably aiming for like ages 14 through, I don't know, 30 maybe, females. And I hate throwing around like genders now, but I feel like that's like kind of like what they're focusing on. Same thing with like Wicked and Divine. I feel like it's more based on like 18 through 30, females as well. But like both of those, I thought Paper Girls was great, and I liked Wicked and Divine as well. Like I thought, I thought it could have been like a little better, but at the same time, I really liked the characters and the mythos, and I thought it was fun combining like gods with performance artists, like musicians. Um, so yeah, I would actually really want to delve more into this, and this would be something I would probably even pick up like a hardcover edition of, and see if I like those first 3 volumes. But yeah, art's great. It's bloody, you know. Has like Satan, like Lucifer, or I guess she's called Lucy. You know, it's stuff I like. It's cool. Then last True Believers, Venom and Spiderman. I mean, I thought the story was pretty terrible. Art was hit or miss too. Seth MacFarlane. But I mean, it's classic. You know, it's a classic issue. Then that same day, I picked up stuff that wasn't free. Had Old Man Logan, Moving Target, Part 1, and Part 2. And I bought these because Bullseye is going to come back again into the Old Man Logan story. And I thought it would end at this issue 2, but apparently it ends in the next issue. I'm like, God damn it. So now I have to find the issue with Kingpin, Punch, and Wolverine. So I got 36, 37, so 38 I think is when the storyline ends. So, and then in the mail, besides that Flash variant cover with Reverse Flash on just like his face, I got that in the mail recently. And also got the rest of my Black Magic issues. So I got issue 1. See it better. 1, 2, 3. 3 variant. 4, 5. So that completes like all my A covers of Black Magic. And I have some variants as well. So I just got to track down all the variants, the rest of the variants, and I'm good. I'll have them all. But yeah, I like Black Magic. It's cool. I love detective shit. I love the occult shit, and it's a combination of both. And there's a good bit of detective occult stuff out there now. And that's like my favorite thing. So I'm looking forward to delving more into those. I think that's fucking it. That was 47 minutes. I didn't want it to be 47 minutes. Why do I do this? Yeah. Alright, so that's it. And I'll see you later on today for my pickups. So now I don't have to bog down my pickup video with fucking reviews of all this bullshit. Alright, thanks for watching if you did. Alright, see you later.